Hi, my name's Ian Rixon and I own Glen ACT Saddlery.
So we have a shop front at Thoroughbred Park in Canberra, which is the Canberra Racecourse. We service all equestrian needs but specialise in the racing industry. That's harness racing and thoroughbred racing. In a nutshell, we have the shop front, but we also service our clients through regular delivery service and also through race meetings. So I have a small truck that's all fitted out with everything that we sell. So everything from a horseshoe nail through to a horse rug, and then supplements are a huge part of our business. So vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, and all the gear that's required not only for everyday training, but also for racing.
The story of Glen actually began 50 years ago with Ian's mother, Carmel Rixon.
Hello, I'm Carmel Rixon. A lot of people know me as Carmel, but all my family and friends call me Kate. I was born in 1936 in Bega, and I started Glen Suppliers when I was 40 years old.
Before starting the business, Kate worked as a dental nurse and her husband Henry was a carpenter. After they had children, Kate became a full-time mother, raising her 4 kids, Helen, Sue, Peter and Ian.
Henry, in his wisdom, decided that he'd go full-time training racehorses, breeding and training racehorses. And so it meant that I had become the breadwinner of the family.
Kate had grown up surrounded by horses. Her father was a trainer, which helped Kate develop a strong knowledge of racing. Because of this, she was given an opportunity to start selling horse supplies.
I had $200 in the bank and I was offered an agency called from Equinox Laboratories, which supplied vitamins for horses.
So Mum purchased $200 worth of this vitamin and this iron product, and she put it in the bottom of our cupboard. So I shared a bedroom with my brother, and the amount that she bought fitted into the bottom couple of shelves in our cupboard, and that's how it started.
It was 1975 when Carmel started the business out of her family garage with only $200 to her name. It started as a shop front on her home property and expanded into a mobile saddlery.
I'd go to race meetings and I'd have to take everything for jockeys, for trainers, for vitamins. So I covered everything that horse people need. Everything for the horse and rider. That was my motto. Everything for the horse and rider.
A horse, it's only got 4 legs and 1 head, but they need a lot of gear, which is wonderful. But rugs and shoes and all the different gear. So from that, the owners and trainers said, can you get me this? Can you get me this particular? So Mum just researched it, rang up, it was way before the internet, and she just asked questions. Oh yeah, you get it from here. Oh, you get it from here. So now we would have, I've never counted up, but we'd have hundreds of suppliers.
I'd like to say that even though I was a woman, and such a struggle in those days because women just didn't do business in those days, this was back in the 80s, I made my way, from being knocked back all the time to them treating me with respect, Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Glen started in Bega, and I was supplying everyone in Bega, and I was talking to my husband one night and I said, Bega's not big enough to give us a retirement or a good living, so I'm going to have to expand. So I packed up the car and put everything I had into the car and drove to Canberra Racecourse. As it grew, I was able to access a whole new market in Canberra.
As the business gained momentum, Kate was travelling to race meetings and horse events all over the South Coast, through the ACT and Greater New South Wales. The name itself has a meaningful origin.
When my father died in 1975, he left me a lovely 100-acre property, which Henry and I and my 4 children moved into. I then decided to call the property Glen because my father had a horse in the 1930s called Glen. And my mother used to always say to me, I'd love to build a house at Glen. Glen 1993.
So that's what the Glen property looked like?
That's what it was, 1993. I started the business in my garage at Glen, there, in front of where the van is. And that was another shed that we had down the bottom.
So was this your entire property? Where did your property end, the 100 acres?
Over there, that road over there.
Wow.
So up to there, and then all down here, all down that road. And people came from everywhere. I'd give them dinner, and they'd come all the way from Ulladulla and Milton, just to buy saddlery off me. I remember one of my suppliers came to me one day and they said, "Look, Carmel, we can't supply Carmel Rixon. How about if we call it just Glen Meyer?" I said, "That will do." So it was called Glen Meyer Suppliers.
So that's how the name came about?
That's how the name came about. In those days, the country racing was very, very big. And I could go to Maria and make 7,000 in a day, which was a lot of money then. So that's how many horses there were. And I'd go, so I travelled everywhere. So I was a mobile saddlery, and that's what works. I was going to the people.
Trainers are busy, so it's before the internet started. So the internet is basically put your order in, it's delivered to you. So Mum was able to be a pioneer in that, where you go to the customer. You don't wait for the customer to come to you.
I had 4 hours sleep every night for years and years. I used to work 7 days a week, 7 nights, because I do book work of a night.
I worked with Mum from a young age, so I used to go to the races every weekend. Like they were down at the south coast where we grew up. There was always a race meeting at either Bega, Maruya, Pambula, Bombala or Cooma. And I just grew up in the van. We had a van back then, and we'd jump in and go to the races. So I got to know those people, and they're still lifelong friends and customers of ours. In school holidays, we'd often leave Bega at 3:30 in the morning to drive up to get to Queanbeyan by 5:30. So you're there when they work their horses. For some reason, thoroughbred horses are worked really early in the morning, so we had to leave really early, and then we'd drive back.
Can you tell me your name in relation to Kate?
Yeah, Peter Rixon, third child, a favourite son of Carmel. I'm a builder by trade, and yeah, we race, compete as our passion, our hobby. Yeah, heaps of fond memories in Bega. We always had horses, and we always had horse people around, and Mum started a business, and mornings like today, I don't know why, but yeah, it's what we've always done. Just grew up with it and always enjoyed the horses.
My business then grew, and the children left school and went on their way. And then Ian went to university, and he came home once from uni and said to me, "Mum, made up my mind what I want to do with my life." And I said, "What do you want to do, Ian?" He said, "I want to do what you're doing." And Henry's words were, "Well, you'd be a bloody fool if you didn't." And so I said straight away to Ian, "Okay, Ian, you can take over Canberra and I'll run the business down this end."
And that's what they did. In the year 2000, they split the business in half. Kate ran Glenmeyer Supplies from Bega, and Ian ran Glenmeyer ACT. When Kate retired, she sold her side of the company, and Ian has sustained the family legacy with the shop front at Thoroughbred Park. It's run alongside his wife Jenny and colleague Andrea.
And Ian works harder, if not harder, than what I ever did. And that's, I think that's why it was successful, because of the way I worked.
The fact that you can deal with people that are mega wealthy and successful owners and whatever, and then you deal with these people that they're there for the passion of the horse as well, the love of the horse, and they're just earning their wage every week.
I must say I love my business. I love the people I dealt with. Not only were they my customers, but they were my friends. So Glenmeyer, from being a horse in the 1930s, has got a business in Canberra. It's got the housing estate in Bega. Yeah, so, and it had my business, you see. Yeah.